Alright, what's up guys? I am back for another Zoids review. So, there was a guy on the Zoids Collectors group, whose name I'll probably mention in the description, who was selling off a big chunk of his collection, and myself and my friend Brad, who I've mentioned countless times before on this channel, bought quite a few Zoids off of him. I bought technically three, but one of which I'll tell the story about that later, but I intentionally bought the Race Tiger from the Three Tigers story in Fusors and Zoids vs. 3, and I bought this with the Blade Liger Shadow Impact from Zoids Fusors. There's another one that I'll tell the story about again later, but so obviously, as you guys know, if you've spent any amount of time watching my Zoids related content, is that I absolutely adore the Blade Liger. It's my favorite of all Zoids. And the Shadow Impact was the only motorized one that I did not have, aside from the Mirage, which is pretty much going to be impossible to get, or a motorized one with attack boosters, which again I've never seen in the wild before. So this is the Takara Tomy version, not the... I believe this actually did have a Hasbro release in the Fusors line, but I've never seen it before in the wild. This is strictly the Takara Tomy version, the Japanese version. The reason you can tell this is the Tomy one is it not only says Tomy underneath where the battery pack is, but it also has the... You can hear that, the die-cast metal feet and fangs, which, as I mentioned in the review of the blue Takara Tomy one, the Van Blade Liger, is an aspect of the Japanese one that was lost in the Hasbro one, the Red Leon one. So this is technically the third time I've done a review of this kit, so I'll probably make this pretty short, but I definitely wanted to show it off and kind of talk about its merits, and also how the Blade Liger is implemented in the story in Fusors, which is very poorly, if I do add. So in the very first episode of Zoids Fusors, we see a team of Blade Ligers, the Shadow Impact team, as I mentioned, and they have, again, these three awesome looking gunmetal gray, metallic gray Blade Ligers with camouflaging kits, and they go up against the Dark Spiner, which is the first Fusor Zoid shown in the series, which equips itself with the Killer Dome and becomes the Killer Spiner, and proceeds to wipe the floor with them. So Zoid, the Blade Liger in Zoid's Fusors was depicted as more of a common Zoid, but which is kind of a slap in the face considering here you have the protagonist Ace Zoid from the first iteration of the anime, and it's essentially rendered as common cannon fodder by the time of Fusors, which is kind of just a way of insinuating to the audience, the target audience, hey, get rid of that old toy, here comes the new ones, better go out and buy the new Zoids Fusors toys, which again sort of came around to slap them in the face when Fusors was generally not very well received and is probably the poorest series out of all of them. Probably the series responsible for Zoids not being as successful over here in the West, because it was canceled during its original TV run and we never got Genesis localized at all. Anyway, so in the game Zoids vs. 3, you have, up until this point in the previous Zoids vs. games, had many different Blade Ligers that have been playable. You have a standard one, you have Blade Liger with attack boosters, you had Blade Liger Mirage, you had Leon's Blade Liger, and you could buy attachments like missiles and boosters and attack boosters for all those different Zoids. But the new black Blade Liger Shadow Impact in Zoids vs. 3 was the first time you could equip the Blade Liger with a camouflage kit, bringing it into the continuity of the anime. And I think you could also equip it with a smoke screen weapon, which again was not particularly useful. But onto the model kit itself, I apologize for the awkward pose here, but I actually do have the batteries in this one, so you guys are finally going to be able to see the motorized function after 3 of these dang Blade Liger reviews. The previous owner kept good care of this, except some of the caps definitely have some weathering on there, notably this one right here. And I actually had to replace some of the caps from another spare set that I had from another Zoid. I think the Darkhorn, actually. And this fin over here also will not stay in no matter what I do. It just keeps wanting to flop back out, so I may just have to live with that and hopefully keep it in the display case where it'll stay in like that. But yeah, this guy just looks amazing with that gunmetal gray there, and also the blades are silver, unlike the gold ones on the other kits, and I think the gunmetal gray plus the white and the silver just looks awesome. And the little bit of gold that is there with the feet and the fangs definitely adds a lot to it. So let's go ahead and deploy the boosters. let's deploy the blades, which again you guys have seen in previous iterations of these reviews. Yeah, his front right leg may fall off, and I apologize if it does. So blades come down just like that. Let's see this baby walk. The incoming disaster in 3, 2, 1. Okay, that actually went really well, and the leg didn't fall off, although it looks like it's trying to now. And I actually managed to stop the motor in what appears to be a slightly better pose, although his back leg is still kind of off the ground there. And here we have the 3-blade Ligers side by side, and oh boy, is this a dream come true, let me tell you, because like, obviously I had the blue Takara Tomy one as a kid. It took me until 2018 to get the red one, and then this year to get the gray one, the Shadow Impact, so really happy to finally have the whole set. Obviously I have a little bit of an obsession with the Zoid, as you know, because I also have now, at this very moment, 3 HMMs as well. The Van HMM that came out around 2014, and then the Leon reissue one, which I think came out in like 2017 or something like that, and then the generic Blade Liger with attack boosters, it's blue, that just came out like this month, and it just arrived, so definitely very cool. Again, this is the Hasbro one, this is the red Blade Liger, plastic feet, plastic fangs, a singular Android pilot in there. And then the Van one, of course, has the Van and Fiona minifigures, and of course the cockpit does have enough room for both of them, which is really nice. This one I put stickers on as a kid, and they look pretty rough, I'm not going to lie. It looks okay in the video, but up close you can see where they weren't applied all that well, and so like dust has gotten up underneath of them, and there's like air bubbles and all that. Huge shout out to, again, the previous owner of this one for taking care of it, not putting any stickers on it, and keeping it just very clean and pristine. It just looks amazing. I'm probably going to have to get in and dust it once I move my collection into the new house, which is no big deal. But yeah, just overall, it looks super, super clean without any stickers, and I just think that gray color looks awesome. So that is pretty much it for the Blade Liger Shadow Impact. Oh yeah, before I forget, he does not have any pilot at all. I guess he was missing. I did not get the pilot, did not get the box or the instructions, and I don't know if this kit actually came with any of the like Shield Liger bits that this one did. The blue Van Blade Liger came with spare parts for where you could change out the booster set into a twin barrel cannon, and you could change out some of the fins on its head for Shield Liger fins. It has the Shield Liger tail as a possible attachment, as well as the little cannon bits that go on the tail. So, but none of that is necessary. It's literally just spare parts that come with the blue Blade Liger, and I don't know if any of that stuff came with the other two, and I sincerely doubt that it did. But anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time with the Race Tiger.